Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook process video, and thank you for joining me again today. Now, this is sketch number 15, but from the 6x6 sketch series of Allison Davis. And I'm going to be honest, I don't like this sketch. If you know this sketch, you know all about the triangles on the left-hand side, and it just looks different to me. I don't know, I'm more the clean, simple lines, and this sketch, the funny thing is, I don't like the sketch, but I did the layout and altered it a little bit, and then I kind of liked it, and then after I added a few embellishments, I didn't like it. I'm fine with the way the layout comes out in the end. It is not a favorite. That's okay. Because I got a lot of pictures on it, and I recorded the moment, and that's important to me. So basically on the left hand side, she took some 12 by 12 photo or 6 by 6 papers and cut them into triangles. So basically cut them in half, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I went on the Facebook group and I looked at other people's examples. Some people turned these into Christmas trees, which I thought was super cute and adorable. But I kind of wondered, I knew that I wouldn't be able to, unless I was making it a Christmas tree, I couldn't put the arrows going. To me, I'm going to call them arrows because to me, that's what I'm going to kind of make them, in my mind, what I'm making them look like. So if they were going straight up and down, like either pointing down or pointing up, whereas in the sketch, she has them pointing down, I don't think I could do that. Maybe a single page layout would be okay with, I would be okay. I just didn't, I knew I wouldn't be able to, but I had the idea that I was going to put this together and try them pointing to the right hand page. And kind of that's where more of the arrow look comes in. I think you could also play around with this side of the sketch and maybe turn these triangles into mountains, which I almost thought about cutting out or finding some kind of mountain cut file, just so that would mimic the triangles on this side. But I honestly, I just did the voiceover already for week 17, and I realized I was totally missing week 15, and I wanted to get this done. So I had, like I said in a couple other videos, I went through when I first got these sketches, and instead of finding 6 by 6 pads, I just went to my use it up section to see if I could finish off that stuff. And this is one kit that I am going to use up. There's a lot of 6 by 6 and stuff left over. I'm going to save for a D-stash box in the future. There's some ephemera pieces, but it's just not, I'm not that crazy about what's left over. I have used some of the kits and the good parts and the pieces that I really love. I might have even used them in a past process video like years ago. So I don't even know, but I wanted to try to get at least one more layout. And so you can see here what I've done is to line these up as best I can. I did put little pencil marks at 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, etc., so that they would be the same distance apart. And then to make them straight, I'm using my T-square ruler to make sure they're straight up and down. And I don't really mind these colors. So if you will look on the left-hand side of the screen, I actually had that piece. That is Pink Paisley Cedar Lane. It's like a acetate sheet. I was originally thinking I could use those strips, cut like strips of that acetate, to use instead of the 1/4 inch stripe strips on the right hand page, and there's a little bit that goes on the left hand page. But the colors, when I put it up to it, the colors in the photos would have worked well. But I just, at this point, I was like, I've got mostly browns and greens and blues, and I just wasn't that crazy about. So I decided not to use the acetate. So that made me have to find something else. And this is all I have from this collection. So I'm trying to find a paper. I really wanted to use this red stripe one, but if you cut this into 1/4 inch strips, it's going to be totally obvious that it's not a full 12 inch piece of paper. So I decided to go with this little tiny, I don't know how well you can see this, has little tiny arrows on it. And every time I cut the 1/4 inch strip, it put those arrows almost in the exact same spot. And I'm going to put those arrows so they're kind of pointing up. They're not really arrows. Again, they're just triangles, but to me, I'm calling them arrows because that's kind of what I'm thinking of them as. So what I ended up doing, we'll put them down so they mimic mountains. These are pictures from Wallowa Lake. My very first process video was more pictures from Wallowa Lake. Was a picture from Wallowa Lake. So you can see I'm still scrapbooking these pictures. I have a lot more to scrapbook from that trip, but excuse me. So I'm going to ink all my edges of my brown close to my heart ink, and I did measure just a little bit. I didn't like make sure it was totally specific, but I tried to get those 4 2x2 photos to line up with the arrows as much as I could, and I think it turned out pretty good for just kind of quickly doing it. I just used my T-square ruler. So again, I'm just inking the edges of these 1/4 inch strips. On these 2 ones, I did cut the 6-inch strips, but I'm just going to glue them down and then trim off any of the excess. And these actually, when these paper strips are lined up together, it is not nearly as obvious that these are not full 12-inch strips. So I was happy with that. And I think, like I said, I lucked out because when I cut them all the triangles were kind of the same height. Now I had the idea that I didn't like that empty space. I was thinking at this point, oh, this is not too bad. This is, not as bad as I thought, but I wanted to see what it would look like with the arrows going all the way to the picture. And I only had this piece, and you can tell it's not a full 6-inch piece, but I'm going to make it work because if you can tell, there's also a pattern, and I was not about to try to rip up those papers and make a pattern. But since I had my photos already down, I'm just lining these papers up and going to trim them down and basically glue them in there. I do line them up with one of the lines on my trimmer so that I know that it's basically straight. And this one here, I didn't know where to cut it because it was a smaller size. So I'm going to basically line it up with one of the triangles that's already on there and mark where to cut. And then luckily one of the extra pieces is going to be, I'm going to flip it around. So I'm just trimming down the little bit extra here. I'm going to trim that down so that it will fit in that spot and I don't have to worry about tucking it below my photos. And here I'm just going to place this piece above on top so it looks like a full triangle, and then you can see there once it's down on the page it will look like it's part of the full triangle or arrows. Now if you wanted to do this is kind of not really, I guess if you think about it now, at least me thinking about it now, this is not much different than the pages she does using banners all in a row. It's only that they're kind of in a triangle type shape, but all you really see is the top, but it made me enjoy the sketch doing it this way instead of with the triangles. So this wasn't too bad. I mean, you can see there, luckily I made that green piece work. If I couldn't make that green piece work, I don't think I would have liked the layout. It's just, I don't know. Let me know if you are taking the class and if you've done this sketch and what you think about it. Did you do the triangles? Did you like it? I don't know. It was not me. The other thing I also did is she called for 6 photos on the right-hand page, and 2 of those photos were 4x6 and 4 of them were 3x4. But my photos would not, you can see there, I couldn't cut them down any shorter. So I want to say that I did 2.5 plus 2.5. So 12 minus 3 is, no, 8, 9. 12 minus 3 is 9. Yeah, 4.5 plus 4.5 is 9. So I haven't had any lunch yet, so I can't do math. No, let's face it, I can't do math ever. So whatever there. But so I liked that. I liked that I was able to kind of do the math and change the photo arrangement to work for my photos. This was us at Wallowa Lake, like I mentioned, and these are just a bunch of pictures of us playing around at the actual lake part. And we had a lot of fun there. We went there a few different times. And now I'm going through the acetate. So part of what I had from this kit are these acetate pieces. And a lot of times you can just put these over photos and they'll look really good. But you can see here that I'm going to put that one down in the bottom right-hand corner. Then I have this other one there that has kind of a, it's not a rose gold, but it's that kind of coppery gold. Copper is probably a good name for it. I decided I wanted to use part of that acetate piece that has the copper gold on it, which you will see coming up. So I thought about adding some peel-offs to kind of bring that out, but I didn't have peel-offs. My peel-offs are brown and they probably would have looked okay, but I didn't want to, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling the brown. So now I need photo mats for the 4 photos on this on the left-hand side, and I'm pretty much going to follow what she has. I was hoping to do all the photo mats in the same, color, but I didn't have enough, and I didn't have any more of that one sheet because like I said, I used this kit prior to this at some point in time. And so I went ahead and cut 2 with that reddish pattern that I really liked and 2 with that kind of wood grain. I wanted something that was lighter than those ones, the triangle pieces behind them, so that it would really help it pop out a little bit more and stand out a little bit more. I am going to struggle here. She on her sketch has like some flowers or whatever to represent a cluster of something among these photos. But I knew that I was real limited on ephemera pieces, and to be honest, I was kind of at a get this page done. I seem to have been in that mood lately. I just haven't had as much time lately. But now that things are settling down and everybody's kind of getting into a rhythm of school and things like that, then I'll be able to really play more with my scrapbook stuff. But I didn't want to add a cluster in there, and I knew I didn't have any more or very much ephemera is what I'm trying to say. So to glue this acetate piece down, first of all, I trimmed it down, and then I lifted that strip up because I knew I was going to have to add adhesive somehow. And so I'm going to trim this down so that it will line up with the bottom edge of the page, because I really like what it says. That little line where the acetate ends doesn't bother me at all. What I'm doing is I'm lifting up that strip, and I didn't try to pull it up all the way because I knew I would rip it and I just didn't want to go there. So I tried adding a little bit of my glue, but it was one of those times where I squeezed a little too hard and a whole bunch came out. So I was not really enjoying this process anymore. I enjoyed it figuring out those arrows and making this work. And again, maybe it's just because it looks more like one of her banner pages, which honestly, usually I don't do the banners when it's a banner sketch, but I was happy once they were all down. And then I didn't mind this, but also when I was trying to erase and get the adhesive off, I bent it. And I guess you can't really see it. I don't know how well you can see it. But above the word get from Let's Get Lost is bent now because when I was erasing it. And so that frustrated me. But it was already glued down, and I don't know if you saw, but I did use some staples to go ahead and staple that acetate just to help hold it in place some more, because I did not know how much that glue adhesive had actually gone under there and if it was even going to hold. So here's the word outdoor that I was talking about that has the copper type of look. And these acetate pieces have that little extra film on them that a lot of companies put on to protect them. And it took me forever. I had to turn off the camera to get that off of there, but I finally got that off. And then instead of using any wet adhesive whatsoever, I just stapled it on there. So the staples, the only thing I didn't end up adding because I just forgot was any staples to the very left-hand page to kind of bring that around, but they're so subtle on here that I don't think it will really matter. So then I started going through the stickers and ephemera. I had some puffy stickers, and what I decided to do, and I'm not that crazy about it, but I kind of don't mind it, is that go outside and then the ampersand sign. So it looks like it says go outside and get lost. It actually says go outside and let's get lost, but I think even if you read it either way, it would be okay. So I left those there. It really covered up where the acetate got bent, so that helped so much. That's pretty much why I'm leaving those there. Luckily, I had the ampersand because I don't ever really use ampersand. So then the other thing I thought would be I would, I'm just going through the ephemera and picking out the ones that I know will work. A lot of the sayings were the same thing, like get lost, get lost, get lost, or outdoor, outdoor adventure, adventure. So I tried to pick out the ones that not only matched color wise, and I also wanted to bring that one that said Our Happy Place over to the right hand side because I wanted that color over there. And since I didn't have any copperish colors over here on the left hand side, I used that circle one that says favorite. I don't know. I'm like I said, the rest of this layout, I probably could have just left this layout without any embellishments and liked it a little more than I do with it, all the embellishments, but that's okay. I did pull out this sticker sheet though, because I felt like I just needed some more stickers in this cluster and I wanted word stickers, and the black doesn't really go, but it's okay. I added a word sticker in all the clusters, and I think I added 2 over here in the left hand side one. So that is pretty much going to be my layout. Like I said, it's not my favorite. Oh, I also remember I went through my little bowl here. You guys have seen me pull out this little drawer. I did try to take some of my pre-made chipboard thinking I could make some stars. I probably could have actually left them white and added them on there. I tried different, I don't know why I first was cutting apart my ephemera. You can see that Polaroid I cut apart. And then I realized I still have a bunch of the 6x6 paper. Why am I not trying those colors? But I tried a few different of the pattern papers and I just couldn't get anything that I liked there with the chipboard. So I think I might try, no, I think I'm going to look through and not, oh yeah, I did try the blue one, thinking maybe the dark blue would help, but no, I didn't like any of them. So that idea is going down the drain. And then I looked up and saw this little drawer of wood veneer that I'm making myself use up. And so I'm going to add some stars and arrows into each cluster. And that kind of helps. It makes it better than it was without them. I'm happy that I had that wood veneer. Here's a couple close-ups, and don't worry that I don't like this layout. It's not bad. I don't hate it. It's just not a favorite. And I'm sure we, like you guys, we all have those layouts that just aren't our favorites. But all right, guys, I'm finished with this sketch and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.